Welcome to the Mel Movie Podcast. Here we have our first episode, and we are talking with Talk with Spear. You can follow Talk with Spear on any social media platform, YouTube, IG, and TikTok under Talk with Spear. All right, Spear, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, better now. We was having some technical difficulties, but we're good now.
There's always technical difficulties in these podcast things. I swear the
Yeah, tell
audio
me about
messes
it.
up like 90% of the time.
Yeah.
Today we are talking about The Boys season 5 episodes 1 through 4 and also Euphoria season 3 episodes 1 and 2. So if you have not seen any of that and you do want to watch it, come back to this video at a later time after you've watched it because we are going to spoil it entirely. Mega spoilers ahead. All right, Spear. So we were talking a little bit earlier about episode 1 of The Boys, and this premiered a couple of weeks ago, so we're only 4 episodes in, and I think there's a total of, is it 8 episodes? So
I think so, yeah.
right. So we're about halfway through the season. So what were your thoughts on the first episode of The Boys?
As I said before, I think it's a great opener to season five, a continuation of season four, where we saw all of them got captured and they get you smack right in the middle of it. You see Starlight trying to still take down Homelander on her own by, showing people at the convention he was at, like what happened on that flight in the earlier season. And Homelander was finna go ballistic as usual until Sister Soldier stepped in and stopped him from doing it. And he putting the pressure on her and everybody to capture Starlight. And basically, Huey and them are planning to escape, from the camp that they was just like put in. And then, but Homelander knew everything. He was always 10 steps ahead of them. He knew everything that they were doing. What he didn't anticipate, and he did that to lure Butcher and Starlight to the camp.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I thought it was great, great storytelling, great everything. But A Train, of course, this was the end for him,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, um, we got to see A Train get off at the end of this episode. Well, let's just start back. A Train, Annie came to A Train to for help, and he declined her because he was protecting his family,
Yep.
and uh, his family was on some remote island. But the Deep found him, and when the Deep found him, A Train already moved him to another place, and him and the Deep had a little dialogue. Like he was like, "Yo, why you still riding with Homelander, bruh? You
Right.
know he crazy. You know he unstable. Why you still hanging with him?" And the Deep thought about it. You could tell the Deep was really thinking about it real tough. Like I said, I think Deep is gonna betray Homeland in this season and later on. Not right now, but I think we're gonna have an episode where the Deep gonna really come to a come home to Jesus moment with Homelander. And I think they gonna betray him. But yeah, Homelander, A Train eventually changed his mind, came back, tried to help Annie and them, ended up getting off by Homelander. But it's the way he went out though. He went out telling Homelander exactly how he felt off them, and that was the end of the first episode. I
And I
liked it.
mean, you could see the progression from even the first episode of The Boys where he ran over or ran through Huey's girlfriend at the time. I think her name is Marla. Um, and killed her pretty much right off. But in this episode, as soon as we saw that woman go into her car and then A Train going around her, I'm like, oh no, this is gonna be the end for A Train right here. This is coming around like full circle because now he has that character arc where he's seen humans as, they're also important. Like soups and humans are they're one, they're just as important as each other. So he did have the character growth there to acknowledge that hey, I need to protect human lives as well. So that was good. As well as I think he also learned that as well, like with his, not only his own family, but protecting like people in his circle as well who are also humans. So, but it was cool to see him talk to Homelander like that and stand up to him. And you could, Homelander, he's the kind of character that he respects people standing up to him because Huey, even though Huey was bait in the camp, he did talk to him and you could see Homelander kind of liking that because in his real life everyone is afraid of him, but people like Huey and people like in the boys
Butcher.
circle, they're not afraid of Homelander. They know that he's like a little biatch, so they're talking to him like he is because he is. So you could kind of see almost like a little bit of a level of respect for him, even though he knows that A Train is screwing him over. But he still feels like, man, this is like one of the few people that can actually give me pushback. But he's got to go. And I thought he was gonna like squish his head like a watermelon. Oh,
Yeah, I
I would
thought
have
he was
loved
gonna
that.
melt his
I would have
eyeballs
loved
or
that.
something like that,
Yeah,
but he just snapped his neck. So you
yeah.
know. But what you think about the first episode? I thought it was great.
I like the first episode. One random thing in the episode that I was like, was this entirely necessary? Was that girl that was friends with Huey in the camp that ended up dying? Like that girl, she went quick, and then Annie was kind of like medium jealous, mildly jealous. Like, do we need this going on here? I guess I don't
I,
know.
I
It was
don't think she was jealous. I think it was more so like she been on her own for a minute because we're
true.
gonna get to like how she really was feeling because
That's
Annie
true.
Annie was at a place and because she had to do what she had to do, but she was at a place where having like showing like someone she cared about is like can get in the way of what she's actually trying to accomplish. So I don't think she was jealous. I think she just was like, but they did bring up a good point. She could have been got Huey and them out of that camp a long time ago. She did though.
Yeah, that's true. But that friend of his, Huey's friend, she she got eliminated right quick. Poor girl, R.I.P. Whatever her name is. But I did feel for her as soon as they gave her lines. I'm like, she's gonna go. She's not getting out of this camp. Sorry, girl.
Yeah.
But the first episode was pretty good. All right, so Amazon Prime dropped 2 episodes. The next one is called Teenage Kicks. And we start off the episode with Vought holding the funeral for A Train. That they concocted some story about A Train. Oh, that the was it that the Starlighters got him? I already forgot. The Starlighters got him.
The Starlighters got him, and they made up some BS story about the Starlighters took him out, and this, that, and the third. And you got that pastor who got some type of power. I don't know what it is, but
He has the
uh,
power of like I think it's like
influence.
song, like spiritual song, like can manipulate a little bit.
Yeah,
Ooh, can I talk about him for a second? So
yeah.
that guy, I was like, this guy looks so familiar. And if anyone on here has seen Snowpiercer, the TV show, which premiered on TNT and then HBO got a hold of it, he is the main character, Devi Diggs, and also he played in Hamilton. So he can actually sing IRL, like he can sing and dance. He's like from the theater. So when I saw him as the pastor, what is his name? uh Oh Father, he's the new soup.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh man, this he's gonna be good. And honestly, anytime he's on screen, I love it. He's so good. Like he's so punchable in this role. Not in those other roles I described, but in this role, man, I
Mhm.
hate that character. He's doing a great job. David
Yeah,
Diggs, I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
I liked him a lot in there, and yeah, they open up with A Train funeral, and you get a lot of things. This episode, you get to see Homelander kind of like he knocked off A Train, but then he was sad that A Train betrayed him, and he was just like, was I, like he felt like he was alone because no one really understands him, and delusional to the peak. But let's talk more about like this virus that they got and
Yeah.
the fact that that Butcher kept dude from his daughter and how everybody feel. Is this the episode where they found Giancarlo in the bunker and then that's when like Huey found old boy the invisible guy's son in down
Yes.
there and yeah, okay,
This
yeah.
is the episode.
Uh-huh. And he felt guilty about what happened with Translucent. That's his name. He felt
Yes.
guilty about it, and he was like trying to like be cool with the boy, whatever. Any normal person would probably like keep distance from, but Huey had to feel like he felt compelled to try to talk to dude and big him up and start like stop for real, just stop doing it,
Wasn't
But
translucent the first soup that he killed? I think it
yeah,
was.
it
Yes, it was.
was,
Yeah,
it
so
was.
we're seeing already 2 things that have tied in from season 1 in the season 5. A Train not running through the girl, and now Translucent Sun, Translucent, that whole arc or happened in season 1. So we're getting a lot of things in the season 5.
Yeah, and you got John Carlo um was protecting them down in their cellar. But you know what's funny? I kept thinking like maybe some of the people from GMV was gonna be down there with them, but none of them are down there.
They did bring up, I think, uh, Marie in this episode. Starlight did. And she's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, she was busy." I'm like, "Busy doing what? She should be here in season 5 with you guys." Like
I don't
she
know.
doesn't have
We
school
gonna get
anymore.
We gonna get to GMV,
Yeah, we'll get
but
to Gen V later. But they
I
did bring
think
it up.
they did bring it up. I think what you saw in this episode. First of all, I like this episode. I think what you saw in this episode was more like you saw a lot of different things. You saw Mother's Milk and John Carlo having a moment when
Yep,
the soups came there and they was going to barge in, and we kind of jumping around with, but I'm just gonna bring up some elements of the episode that I like. You saw translucent, I mean not translucent, but Mother's Milk and Giancarlo Esposito character talking, and Giancarlo basically telling him that, look, when all this blow over and I'm still alive, I'm gonna get back in position.
that's what he said.
Yeah, and Mother's Milk was like, as long as you get back in that position, I'm gonna be there to fight your ass every single time. And so just showing that nothing's really changed. They just having like an alliance for a short amount of time.
Hmm.
Homelander is lonely. He needs someone, so he's contemplating on bringing up Soldier Boy back to life, which he did,
Right.
and convince him to help him take down Butcher
Yep.
and use him as a bulletproof vest because he heard about the virus and didn't
Yep.
tell him about the virus. And the smarty pants was telling him like, you didn't just bring him back because he's your father and you loan him. I'm like, sure, you know you didn't of course you just didn't bring him back to block you because you didn't tell him about the virus or none of that stuff. So yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
she was definitely telling Soldier Boy that like he didn't tell you about that virus, like afterwards. That's more towards the end of the episode because as we see at the end of the episode, well, they have that whole thing. We didn't say that part that they were trying to experiment with, or is that the next episode? Experiment with that guy, that volcano guy.
that was the next episode.
That's the next episode. Okay, so we're not there yet. Right.
Not
So,
there yet.
right. Homelander brings back his dad from being in the cryo
And cried sleep
cryo
because he was
sleep
lonely. He
because
was
he was
lonely, but he
lonely.
also used him as to see if the virus. He didn't think of it. You could tell he didn't think of it like that, but he got him out because he was lonely. Because A Train was gone, and he felt like no one around him understands him. Everybody was afraid
Yeah.
of him.
Ashley's
So
afraid of him, even though she's a soup now currently. The Deep is he's
afraid of
quite
him.
honestly, I love his lines and his dialogue, but his character is quite insufferable. Like he is just terrible. He's so like what is it, red pilled? He's so red
Yeah,
pilled. It's it's comical to watch, but it's insufferable to have a conversation with. Like everything he says is just like bro dialogue that is I mean, obviously it's making fun of it, right? So who else does he have?
yeah.
Noir, Black
He
Noir.
tried Noir. Noir was quiet through first two episodes, all three episodes actually. Well,
Yeah,
yeah, he was quiet because the Deep is gonna pull one on him, but we'll get to that.
yeah.
But nah,
Later he
the
comes
Deep,
in.
yeah, the Deep was told Translucent son who really offed him, and then they
Hmm.
betrayed the guy who wanted to get at Huey, and it was just a lot going on in this episode. But also just showed like we got to see the Scourge virus get into play, and you see Soldier Boy kind of doing what Soldier Boy do, trying to like catch Butcher and them, and they use the Scourge virus on uh what's called Soldier Boy and the other suits. It killed the other two suits, but Soldier Boy, at least we thought it got him, but it didn't.
Right, because they were trying to test it with that volcano guy, but they lured in Soldier Boy, and it didn't kill Soldier Boy because he has the OG blood, the V1 blood.
Yeah. And we ain't gotten to that yet. We're gonna get into that in the third episode. But what you
Yeah.
think about the second episode to this?
So I think you said a little bit earlier that the pacing was quite quick. I feel like because in this episode it happens like right after the first episode, right? Everything is in succession, right after another. We didn't have enough time with A Train's death. A Train is like not only part of the Seven, one of the biggest. He's like a main character for sure. I mean, there's a lot of main characters, mind you, but one of the main characters, and obviously everyone, a lot of people knew already he was going to be done for in this season. But we should have had held a little bit more time, like missing A Train, just like a smidgen more. We got like that funeral with Homelander saying those words about him. It could have been a little bit more acknowledgement from all the characters, like to give it, like because it's like a drama show, it's an action drama show, so we need a little bit more time to sit with some things. I don't know. That's just my general comment about that. But I felt like the episode was quick pace. I do like Jensen Ackles back as Soldier Boy. Love me some Soldier Boy, and I.
Mm.
I can always have more Soldier Boy for sure. I think he really serves like toxic masculine asshole from the 1950s or
Racist as well. Yeah.
racist like so well. His dialogue is so good. His mannerisms are excellent. He just like exudes that, and like I can really see that character. Like that's a real person. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a real person that existed. Obviously, it's an actor, right? But he's doing a good job at portraying a real person who would be like that.
Yeah, Jensen Ackles was great in this episode. Um, I like this episode because it just kind of like, but this episode did feel like a filler. It didn't really
It,
it just showed you what the scourge virus can do to normal soups that don't have the V1. Oh, I thought you froze up for a minute. It
no,
just
I'm.
showed. No, you good now. It just showed what it can do to like soups who hasn't been around for a long time. So it is like some like he's not immune to it, but like the rest of them, like Homelander and everybody else is. And so we jump into the third episode where they they try to find the thing that Soldier Boy used to pump into Homelander.
Right, and that's the next episode, episode 3. Every one of you sons of bitches is the name of the episode. And
Mm.
so, but in this episode, Butcher convinces Ryan, and now we have Ryan back in this episode, Homelander's son, to try to get him to like to lure Homelander so that they can use the virus on him, because it might not work for Soldier Boy, but it could work for Homelander. They're totally different generation of soups. So we also have, which I found interesting, that Soldier Boy and Firecracker getting together a little bit later.
I knew that was gonna happen.
Because he has a line in there that is like, oh, well, like the naughtiest woman I've ever had is like Sherry Lewis. So I looked up who that is, and that's like the voice actor of Lamb Chop. So Lamb Chop, her. So
Right.
everything he said a bunch of weird stuff. He's like, "Oh yeah, because like Sherry or Cheryl Lewis, it's like her." And I'm like, "Who is that?" That's who he's talking about. Like the most innocent, sweet-looking lady is the most depraved woman in his story is that he's telling. Anyways, but I did skip around a little bit. So we did have in the beginning Butcher bringing in Ryan. Ryan is still very resentful about Butcher, but he kind of convinces him in a way that it's like, Homelander is going to be doing all of these terrible things. Like, you could be on the right side of history, like one sacrifice of yourself. He basically convinces him to try to do a suicide mission to bring Homelander and to expose him to the virus. So that doesn't really work out because Homelander overpowered Ryan entirely. They have a huge epic battle. Um, and Homelander reluctantly, but also not reluctantly, beats the crap out of him. Like, pretty terribly, honestly. Left him within like an inch of his life. It was bad. You think
Mm-hmm.
he would have, he had some restraint. You saw him ready to hit him, and he's like, looking like maybe I should stop it, but he kept going. He could not stop himself. So that was kind of depressing. Like, that is your son,
Yeah.
not a petri dish son or anything like that. Like, you impregnated a woman and this is your son. He wasn't formed in a lab or anything like that.
Right. I like this episode. I like Ryan. Ryan, you could tell with the time Ryan can get strong enough to take Homelander in time, but
Yeah.
they ain't got that much time. So uh the scourge virus only work on like normal soups, not soups that haven't been around for a minute. Soldier Boy's the OG soup, so it didn't really work on him. So now they're trying to figure out a way to become, get him order. And this is when Homelander gets a visit from his original mom, Elizabeth Shue character.
Elizabeth Shue.
Yeah, he had a vision that she came down and told him that he's the Messiah now. And yeah, so you got that. And I don't know, man. It's a whole big mess. But what he did to Ryan was fucked up. But probably not as fucked up as Butcher, like boosting him up, making him like,
Yeah.
making him feel like he can just really take him on like that. But then I do like how Butcher told him the truth about the virus, though. I can respect that. He's like, he asked him, would it kill him? And Butcher's like, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. He
That
said, but
because
I'm
he
gonna be,
would
I'm gonna
be
be in there
third
with you, though.
generation soup. Ryan would
Yeah,
be.
yeah. And I mean, that's a tough pill to swallow. Even for a kid, that's a tough pill to swallow. But Ryan really ain't squeaky clean neither, because at the beginning of the movie, he was offing like a bunch of people at the
Oh, in
beginning of the
Russia.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he didn't want people to know where he was at. So,
Or what he was doing. I guess I don't know what he was doing. Actually, I forgot about that. What was he doing?
yeah, yeah, yeah. It happened real quick, but he was offing people, and
Mhm.
I guess him and that girl, that's the daughter from Vicky's daughter from the
Yes.
I think they may be together. It
Yeah.
seemed like they may have like a little thing between them two, but she can't stand Huey and the rest of them people. So, but yeah, Ryan was manipulated by Butcher, and she found her father. They found out that they was together. They ended up walking away, so they couldn't get the virus done because Kamiko let them go.
Yep.
And I just, yeah, it's just one big mess. The boys can never be in odd, can't come together on a plan. They always got their own agenda. That's why it can never work with them.
Yeah,
They
but that's kind of true.
always, they can't never come together with something. If she just used her, I mean, like, I get why she did it, but we gotta take down Homelander, dude. He has to go. Like,
Yeah.
he's the probably most powerful suit.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot. I like this episode though. I've been liking all episodes though. None of them have been lackluster at all. Hold on, am I missing something in this episode? What else did we miss? The,
Um, in this episode, what was the Deep doing? Uh,
the Deep caught John Carlo in the second episode, but he
yeah.
betrayed Noir. He knocked Noir out with some knocking gas because he wanted the credit.
Right. Exactly. That was in
Yeah,
this episode 2, I think.
yeah,
Right?
it was a
So that was in
yeah.
episode
He
2.
yeah he knocked. And so him and Noir are at odds right now, and yeah. So yeah, it's been interesting to see them two go at it, and
I guess they also lost the virus, right? They did in this episode because we go into what happened in the next episode of why they need the V1.
yeah, they lost they was getting the V1 to keep it away from Homelander.
Yeah.
But they
But
still have some aspects of the virus, but they lost the guy that was supplying the virus.
right, which is Vicky's daughter's baby daddy. Is it
His
Samir?
dad, yeah, dad,
Samir.
yeah, yeah,
Yes.
Samir.
They lost him,
So
but they also lost large amounts of the virus as well. So to create a new virus enough to kill
wipe out all the
Homelander,
super
it would
drop
have they
suits.
would have to generate more. They have to create more, and
Yeah,
that will take some time. I think Frenchie said it was like several weeks,
yeah,
and they're like, we're running out of time.
yeah. They're running way out of time.
Yeah,
So um, like I said, I like this. I like this episode, but what he did to Ryan was unthinkable.
I know.
But it was Ryan Butcher did try to, but then it's like kind of like, did Butcher really want that to happen, or because it seemed like he told him to stop, but he also put a transponder in his pocket, like he knew he was gonna do it.
Well, you know what? Butcher is. Butcher is really erratic. We missed out. We forgot to say in the first episode, Butcher saw his dad in the first episode, played by
and knocked
John
it dead
Noble.
off.
Both of
Yeah.
them were in Lord of the Rings, by the way. Very much so. So that's some Lord of the Rings stuff right there for you. But he killed his dad. He killed
Yeah,
his
he
dad in
did.
that episode. He eliminated him. So Butcher is more erratic than probably we've ever seen him in the show.
Yeah, he
So
is.
maybe he wanted to see, what he wanted to see the aftermath, but I don't know if he would have been really that sad if Ryan had been eliminated.
No, no, I don't think he would have felt anything because he a soup and he hates all soups.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, right, but still Ryan is like
Part of his
partially
family
his
though.
wife's, son, his ex-wife's son.
And she told him before she passed, please take care of Ryan.
Exactly. So that's what he's been trying to do, but throwing him into like the bowels of Homelander is like like the worst possible thing. That's not taking care of him for sure. So that's how you
No.
can tell also like Butcher is spiraling out of control.
Yeah, and he got that stuff in him too, and they didn't cover that. Like, he was seeing his ex partner in season 4 and stuff like that, like a hallucination. Basically, those things like
Mm.
playing mind games with him, but they
The
didn't
Jeffrey Dean
showcase that.
Morgan. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't show it. They didn't show it in this season so far. So I wonder is he still there or not?
I don't believe we ever got that he wasn't seeing him. We're just not seeing that he's seeing him. So maybe potentially he is still seeing him a little bit
Yeah, a
or being
little bit.
influenced by him.
Yeah.
Potentially. We might see some Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I'm not sure if he's in the season though.
Hey, Jeffrey Dean Morgan busy right now. He been voicing Invincible, so he's
That's right.
been yeah. But yeah, but I like this episode though, and we segue into the fourth episode, which I remember that very vaguely, and I don't know. That is funny how they pulled the Last of Us reference in this episode. That was funny.
Oh, you mean at the end with Quinn?
Well, nah, like when they was going downstairs, Frenchie was like this kind of like the Last of Us, where you got all these spawns and stuff like that, and it's causing them to get angry. First of all, let's start from the beginning. They
Yes.
try to go for the V1 to try to beat Butcher and Soldier Boy to get it because there was a source at that bunker there where Soldier Boy got created. They try to go down there and get it, and
Yes,
when they
there was
get
a
there,
source that they said it could be there. And so now the boys and then Homelander and Soldier Boy are heading there separately.
yeah, and they Butcher and them get there first, but when they get there, they started acting weird, and everybody was just angry, angry, angry at each other, saying the most horrible things. The truth was coming out on everybody on how everybody was feeling.
It's true. Homelander was projected to Soldier Boy when they were in the bunker, when they were like us, breathing in the spores. That oh, when you got the V1, you were scared, you were calling out for your mom, you pissed your pants. I feel like that was like a bit of projecting too, because Homelander is really like a scaredy boy, uh, deep down inside. Where Jensen
Both of
Ackles,
them saying,
Soldier Boy, is not that scaredy boy. He kind of is like, all right, let's go. Like that's his character. Um, so you could see that these characters are like Kimiko got a little crazy too. She was attacking
she was
Huey.
talking mad noise to
Yeah.
Frenchie. She was letting it all out on Frenchie.
Yes.
But like like when they were angry, they basically was just saying how they truly felt towards each other, and like Huey was letting it out on Butcher, he was letting it out on Mother Milk. He really was letting it out on both of them because he was like, "You go along with everything Butcher do,
Yeah.
everything. You don't know when to say no to him, but you always talking shit about him."
It's true.
So,
Then when we're in the bunker, we have Soldier Boy trap Homelander in that bunker cell that has uranium and is kind of like soup proof. And man, let me tell you how when Homelander was in there, he was getting that radiation from the
radiation.
uranium, so he was kind of like breaking out and stuff like that. I was
Hmm.
thinking to myself, how long would it take for a soup to die of like either exposure or starvation? Like, how long would that take? That would take like a really long time. But could that happen? Well, it didn't in this episode, but I was thinking, how long would that take if you just left him there and he was
Yeah,
actually trapped?
yeah. And when he locked them in there, Soldier Boy encounter. So all of them went in there separately, right? And then they all got exposed to the spores in there. But when Soldier Boy catch up to Huey and them and Frenchie brought him to what was the source of the spawn, which was his brother. His brother was still alive, but his brother was like part of that building, like his hatred and stuff like that was still his essence was still in that building. And Frenchie talked Soldier Boy into like knocking off his own brother.
Is that really his brother though? Quinn?
Yeah, Quinn was his brother.
Okay. Because he said something about when they grew up about being rich or something like that. He said something that's like, "Oh,
When you when
because I'm a rich boy." You guys thought like cuz I'm a rich boy or something. So I
what
wasn't sure if he was his brother because he did mention the brother earlier that they were part of the experiments.
Yeah, that was his brother. Because when you was talking about what Homelander was saying about him taking the experience, he was talking about how he was jealous of his brother,
Yeah.
who was the Silver Star, who was an actual war hero, and he was just somebody, some kid that was like privileged and wanted to be in his brother's,
Mm,
didn't want to be in his brother's shadow, and that's where they all come from. So yeah, that was his brother right there, and that's why
okay.
he was crying after at
Yeah.
the end when he killed when he offed him because that was his actual real brother.
And there was really no way to save him, but he also had to get rid of him because he did have the V1 blood in him. So you know, he had to eliminate the possibility of anyone getting that V1 blood because he knows Homelander was trying to get it and he knows exactly well, like Soldier Boy is aware of what's going on now. Like he knows what the plans are. Like what Homelander is doing and what the boys are doing. So I think he just didn't want anyone to get it.
Well, when they got there, someone already took it. Now, there's some speculation that it was one of like Soldier Boy crew member. It was speculating that it was Jared Pulaski. What's his name? Last name? The other guy that was with Superbad. Is
I'm not
his
sure.
his other brother that was with him in Superbad. You remember his name?
No. the
It's
the actor
Jared.
name?
Yeah.
Which one? McLovin? I don't know.
No, not McLovin. You don't remember Superbad that both of them was brothers? His other brother that was a part of the show. Did you
No.
watch Superbad?
Yeah, I mean a long time ago.
Yeah, yeah. Like his brother, like the dude that played his brother in Supernatural is in the show. Cause the
Oh,
creator,
yeah.
yeah,
You're talking about the actor guy from Supernatural, yeah.
yeah, Supernatural. I said Superbad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know why I
Oh,
said
okay. Oh,
Supernatural. I'm
I'm like
sorry.
super bad. I'm like Jonah Hill.
No,
You're
I'm
talking about
sorry. I'm sorry. Supernatural. That's what I
Padalecki.
meant to say. Yeah, yeah,
Jared
yeah. That's him. Yeah.
Padalecki. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I said Superbad. I don't know why. That's my bad.
I was
Nah, but
like
Supernatural.
Bill Hader. Was
No, no,
Bill
no,
Hader?
no. No, I meant supernatural. But yeah, his brother, that's supposed to be the guy that got the V1.
Oh, I think we're gonna get some flashback scenes because I saw some behind the scenes and he was not like fungusy. He was like normal humany. So I think we might get potentially a flashback. I don't know why we would get it now. Well, he must. Maybe we're gonna see Soldier Boy kind of like reminiscing about his brother a little bit.
They only got like four more episodes left, so
Yeah.
I'm sure like the next episode gonna have to like probably more of a filler. But then 6, 7, and 8 got to kind of ram it home because it's coming towards the end.
What was the video that they watched at the end? Mother's Milk had a video, right?
That was the video of their experimenting on Soldier Boy. And they found it
Mm,
down, and so that's what
right.
they were watching. And
Yeah.
like I said, Mother's Milk. He's with Butcher. He can't stand soups. He don't like them. He don't. He's always been down for Butcher, even though Butcher is terrible. He's
Yes.
still gonna ride with Butcher no matter what, cause all the way to the end, cause like he don't like soups.
And you've read the comic books of the boys, right? I
Hmm.
haven't. How does Homelander die, or what do we expect? How do they get rid of Homelander in the show? I mean, obviously the comic books and the show have diverged. Maybe not in all the events, but in some events.
Well, in the comics, you remember when Butcher and Homelander was having that conversation about scorched earth. That's kind of like how it ends in the comics. And I can tell you who's the last people that's gonna be standing, but it's gonna be a lot of people that's gonna get like offed. Like a lot of people. But I can tell you who was the last people that gonna be standing. I think they're gonna keep it kind of the same in this one as well. But yeah, when he said scorched earth, that's what's probably may
Oh, do
happen.
you mean like actually like people in the world? Like a lot of people are gonna die in the world, in their world?
Maybe we
Yeah.
gonna find out.
Is it gonna be like that's what I'm telling you, it's just like the ring. I mean like Lord of the Rings. We're gonna have to shove Homelander in a volcano or something like that, eliminate him quick so he cannot
Yeah,
regenerate. No, I'm
but
kidding, I have no idea. But
I don't. But they have deviated a lot from the graphic novel, so it's up in the air on what they gonna do because they deviated a lot from the graphic novel for the best because the graphic novel is pretty graphic. Like in a graphic novel, noir, he did off noir, but the noir that we got now was supposed to be Homelander's clone.
oh yes, I do know that. But now it's like just a replacement Black Noir because he did kill him in
Yeah,
like season 2, was it? Or 3?
season 3, I
Season
think.
3. Yeah. That we do have our we did get a little bit of Black Noir I think in the previous episode, episode 3. Uh but yeah, we haven't gotten too much of him in this season. I mean,
Yes.
the pacing is very quick in the show, so they're going from plan to plan to plan to plan to try to get either this virus or Homelander in a spot where they can use the virus on him in any way possible. So,
Yeah, so I think they gonna like when he said scorched earth, I think that's how it's gonna probably come to close to end. But uh I could tell you that I feel like a lot of characters gonna get offed off, and hence the reason why they probably not gonna go any further with Gen V, why they
mm,
canceled it.
well, we could
Uh,
talk about Gen V. I mean, it could be a lot of things why they're not renewing Gen V. It could be drop in viewership in season 2. It could be Amazon focusing on other The Boys projects like Vought Rising and also The Boys Mexico, right?
yeah, and I think it's just too much. And then Gen V really didn't win anybody over. It didn't. It didn't win me over for sure. I Season 1 was alright. Season 2 was a step up from season 1 for sure. But it it just didn't deliver. So I
I
guess
feel
like they
like they
don't.
missed a huge opportunity of having like some really good epic fights in Gen V, and they didn't really give it to us. You know, I don't know. I
Nah,
didn't like the fight with the Godolkin at all at the end. So I'm like, you guys ran out of budget or something.
nah. I think they just didn't have a really distinct idea of how they're gonna run Gen V. But
Right.
I think that this Vault Rising is gonna probably be the best bet for them because Jensen Eccles, people like Soldier Boy, and to get him and Stormfront back in the mix again and kind of going in a different tone than the boys, I think this is probably the best thing they could do for them for their viewership. They want to keep the boys going, so
Right.
yeah,
I do think so too. I think with the Vought Rising, with a different tone, a different time period, it's going to, make it feel like the boys' universe, like fresh. We're not going to be like, because Gen V is so directly tied into the boys that it's like, but for what? It almost doesn't really matter. Like Sister Sage, all that stuff with Godolkin, it like almost really people are gonna hate me in the comments. It didn't really matter. Honestly, they could have just told us off screen what happened and we would have been totally fine with it.
yeah.
Sorry.
So
I mean, that's what they're doing now. They didn't bring in Marie. They could have brought
yeah,
her for a little bit, then would have been like, oh, good. Okay, tied in finally.
yeah. So but yeah, I think that I think they're gonna, I think that the Vault Rise are gonna be good, but we'll see how the boys. And so far, I'm liking it though. I'm liking all of it. And right now, I since Invincible is gone, and I think we've come to the end with Daredevil. The boys is all I got left right now. The boys and From. So
Well, The Boys still has a couple more episodes to go, and honestly, this season has been really good. I have been enjoying this season more than some other seasons of The Boys, that's for sure. I feel like it has a clear vision of where it wants to go, where I feel like sometimes The Boys is a little bit flailing in its plot. But I think in season 5, they've really got it honed down, and they really got to because this is the last season. There's none after this. So,
Yep, that's it. So
but I
yeah, I'm
guess
ready.
let's transition into Euphoria's episodes 1 and 2, and
Okay.
your experience with Euphoria on the other two seasons. I guess we haven't talked about that. If you liked it, what you think of the show overall.
I didn't watch Euphoria season 1 and 2 until like probably last year or maybe the year before. And I liked it. I liked the mood. I liked the way it looked. I liked the music. I liked the atmosphere they created. I liked the characters. And I was like, I dig why people like it so much. I'm not the biggest Zendaya fan,
Right.
but I thought this was like a cool transition from her from a Disney star to like a grown up. And
Yeah.
it's been cool to see like how all of them kind of came from their show, and like now all of them got like a career, like Jacob Elordi and Sydney Sweeney, for lack of a better reason, and Zendaya. So yeah, I like the first two seasons. Like a lot of the characters are complex, and going into this was a different tone than the first two seasons for sure. The cinematography looked different, the atmosphere feel different, feel like a whole different mood. But maybe he was trying to, I think Sam Livingston was trying to push the envelope as far as saying that they adults now, so they're dealing with more adult things now. And this first episode I didn't like. Of course I've been
Yeah.
vocal about that. I didn't really care nothing about that. But you get Rue. Of course, Rue is caught up in some shit she ain't supposed to be in. Of course, she's
Always.
smuggling drugs.
She's
Yeah,
like
of course.
always in like in the worst situation possible, and she puts herself in it too, by the way. It's like,
But they did. Oh, my bad. I was gonna say they did do a callback to when her mother dumped all those drugs in the toilet.
yes.
So we get to find out who those drugs belong to. It was that woman, and she said that you owe us like what she said, like $1 million.
She said with inflation, because this is is it 5 years later? It's like five
Yeah,
years. She's like, you owe me 43. I think her name is it Lori? You owe me $43 million with inflation. Lori, yeah, with inflation and interest, and it originally was 10,000 in senior year of high school, and now it's $43 million. So she's like, you got to come work for me, Rue. And I like that actress too. She has such a deadpan face.
yeah. She do that in every movie she do.
I love it. She was in Baskets, if you ever saw that, and then also in
Same.
Fallout for a little bit. So whenever I see her, I just have a good time with her because she's so deadpan. It's so good. Um, but Rue, yeah, she be getting into a bunch of shenanigans, and she goes with what's her character name? I forgot. Chloe Cherry is her real name, to
Mhm.
smuggle a bunch of drugs for Lori. I guess $43 million worth. I'm just
They
kidding.
smuggling, they
I have no idea.
smuggling drugs. What most drug dealers do, they swallow it and they ingest it, and then when they get to their dealer, they can get there quick enough if they don't shit it out before then. They gotta shit it all out, so or throw
Or
it up.
it like bursts inside of them, which can cause immediate death because it's like pure fentanyl in a baggie.
Yeah,
And so they
yeah,
had an extended scene of them just like, I had to cover the screen like this. I'm like, I'm not watching them trying to gobble up a bunch of little baggies. It was disgusting. They were gagging. Man, this first episode was rough. We started off immediately with like Zendaya and her Jeep, Rue and her Jeep. What are we doing here, like in Mexico? Now in this weird drug transition thing that she's like a mule for Lori, and we're reintroduced to all the characters essentially, except Jules. Jules is not in this episode. Only they mention Jules. We see Cassie. She's living with Nate. They're engaged. They live in kind of like this retro-looking LA house, and she's kind of posting very cringe content of her.
OnlyFans stuff. Yeah,
She's not on OnlyFans yet, though. She's like on, must be on TikTok and IG and stuff like that because she talks to Nate about getting on OnlyFans, and he like is like, you're not getting on there. And she's like, no, it could be like a certain way, like whatever. It's so weird, that whole thing. I don't know. I feel her content is, I think, who told us that there was content? I don't get that algorithm. I'm sure there's content like that exists, but man, was it so cringe to see her housekeeper taking those pictures and videos of her in that mansion of her pretending to be a dog or something. Really hated that. Or a baby.
yeah,
Terrible.
yeah,
Absolutely so cringe, I'm telling you. I'm like, girl, have some
yeah.
self respect for yourself, please.
Yeah, it was real cringe to see that, and then like Jacob Elordi character seemed to have things under control, but he really don't. He's in debt, and that scene between them two, they were arguing about she wanted more roses for the wedding, and he was like, "I can't afford it right now. You just gonna have to just chill." And that's when she broke up the OnlyFans, and she basically blackmailed him on that and saying like, I'm gonna do it or we're not gonna get married. And I feel like there's some undertones to that whole conversation. Like I think she got something over Nate that we're gonna later find out
I
later
I
down the
think
line.
I might know what it is, possibly, or rumors, possibly.
I
But that's
heard
in the
rumors
next
too.
episode. Yeah, that's in the
Yeah,
next episode,
I
possibly.
heard rumors
So
too.
maybe you're right. She kind of has like blackmailing undertones of what she's saying, but also Nate has a point. $50,000 for flowers is a lot of money. Okay, but I guess he's worth. He's got to be worth a couple million to be even considering $50,000. Most people spend $50,000 on their whole wedding, not like just flowers. So
Yeah, but he's
that's
in debt though.
insane. Well, that's why I think she kind of knows why he's in debt, which is some
Yeah,
of the
he
spoiler that some of the rumors that people are talking about potentially in these next coming episodes.
yeah, and then Cassie is like managing content creators and stuff like that, but she's barely making ends meet, and you see her kind of like living in this basement or some shit like that. Basically, everybody's life kind of spiraled out, and pretty much where you thought they were gonna be. I was surprised that Nate even still was with Cassie after all this time, but someone told me that they belong with each other. I was like, maybe I need to watch season two again and
Uh,
season one to kind of see did they really match each, and I think they do. I think that's the type of woman he want. She just don't have a penis.
well, in reality, in IRL world, Jacob Elordi and Hunter Schafer could not stand each other during the set of season two, so they had to rewrite Jules's character because they were supposed to end up together. They were supposed to be together,
Oh,
which makes more sense. Think about it. Think about how season one was. They were supposed to really end up together after he like leaves Maddie, like that. I'm not saying like Jules would have been Cassie's character, but they would
I'm
have been
sorry. I said
together.
my bad. I said Cassie earlier. I meant Maddie. I'm sorry about that. She was working for the agency. I'm sorry about that. Go ahead.
Oh, no, Maddie is working for that content
Yeah,
creator agency.
that's what I meant to
So
say. I got their words messed up. I'm sorry
so
about this.
really they had to rewrite it so that Nate had to leave Maddie. He's with her in season one. And who else? He's not going to get with Rue. Rue is into women, clearly. And so there's Cassie. But really, he was supposed to end up with Jules. Nate and Jules were supposed to end up together. But they're not. And you can tell they don't really have that many scenes in season two. Not at all. And even in season
I
three, I don't think they're going to have that many scenes together either. I think they're going to be shot separately and just stitched together because they cannot work together.
I didn't know that they had beef.
Yes, it's something I believe because I know about the celebrity drama when it happened. Jacob Elordi and Zendaya were dating IRL, and Jacob Elordi cheated on Zendaya IRL, and Hunter Schafer hated that and hated him, even though Zendaya got over it and was like, whatever. Well, now she's married with Tom Holland. Like, she doesn't care about any of that. She's over that, but it sat really wrong with Hunter Schafer, and she did not like that. And there we go. She could not work with Jacob Elordi anymore because of that situation. There
Wow.
might be more to it, but that was one of the situations.
I always thought she was with Tom. I didn't think she was dating cuz I think Euphoria came out in 2020, right?
She was dated Jacob Elordi for a short period of time,
Oh wow. Did not know that.
maybe a couple months, maybe a couple months.
I thought she was with Tom all ever since Spider-Man. I
I
thought
think that came a little bit later.
they came a little bit later. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe
So
it happened after like the third Spider-Man maybe or the second one. I don't know.
I don't
I
think they
I
were
thought
dating the first Spider-Man.
they were dating and they called it off and then she started dating
It,
Jacob Elordi.
it
I don't
it
know.
could be. It could be, yeah. But either way, he did cheat on her. I'm not saying he does cheat on everyone or who, whatever. Apparently, he's dating Kendall Jenner now. Sorry, we're derailing from Euphoria. So apparently, he's dating Kendall Jenner now. So I don't know if he's a cheater or whatever, but he did cheat at the time. Hunter Schafer didn't like it. She didn't want to work with him. They had to rewrite what season 2 was going to be about, and he was going to be with Jules. But
That's
he's with
crazy.
Cassie. It would have made more sense if he was with Jules, honestly. He was in love with Jules at the end of season 1. Nate.
Yeah, he was. That's crazy though. I didn't know all that lore, but no, I didn't like season one. And then like that Rue was able to manipulate old boy that she sold the bad drugs to and got one of his strippers off unalived, and she was able to manipulate that to work with him instead of working with the lady that she owed.
Oh,
And
yes. What's his name? Alabama?
I know him from being at a BC from old Oz, but I forgot. I don't know how to pronounce his real name.
Oh, I know him from Lost. Echo. Hello, my Losties. He is Echo. He was so good in that role. So his name in the show, I thought it was Alabama.
I think so. I could be wrong.
No, I mean in the show. I don't know what his season 2 cast. Let me look it up. He is so good in the show. I'm having such a great time watching him. But at the end of episode 1, right, we see Rue going to his house, the mansion up on the hill, and basically those drugs are laced, and one of those strippers becomes unalived because of that, and so now he determines that it's going to be fate whether Rue lives or dies because Lori screwed him over, clearly, because those girls are worth money, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So and chance has it that he's like, if I don't kill you when I shoot this apple on your head, Rue, then you are meant to work with me. And he did not kill her.
Right.
He
He
did
didn't
not
do
kill
nothing to
her.
her. Right. So yeah, it was a really good episode. Great episode.
Oh, he's okay. So that's the end of that episode that happened. And then Rue is like so excited. And then you see that other guy, that very analytical guy. Man, what's his name? He is so funny. He keeps saying like facts about everything. He's like, you must be an addict. She was like, oh, it's like, you must be an addict, girl. Anyways, so now we go into the next episode. The first episode was called Andale, and the second episode is called America My Dream. Um, we start off with Rue managing one of the strip clubs, which I think is
Yep.
called, is it the Silver Leg? The Silver?
The silver leg.
It's like a silver leg. She doesn't know how to manage the girls, but then finds out how to manage the girls. And I really had a good time in that episode because we see Rosalia as a stripper. She is a Spanish singer, and she's in tour right now. So if anyone is gonna go watch her, leave a comment below. She is great. She's so funny in the episode. And then we have what's her name? Priscilla Delgado, who plays Angel. She's Puerto Rican and she does a fantastic job. I love Angel. Give that girl an Emmy because I was feeling for her when she was like, "Where's my friend?" The stripper that was.
Angel's the one that Rue and her got it on. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
She did get it on Rue because she was feeling really bad about not having her stripper friend, which we find out later is her girlfriend. Because that girl took lace drugs and died in the mansion in episode 1. But nobody told her that or is telling anybody that, so they just said to Angel, your friend, she ran away with somebody. She fell in love. And she's like, that cannot be true because I was her love. Like they were in love. So it's just
Mm-hmm.
really heartbreaking, honestly. Angel's story in this episode is very tragic. She's like such a tertiary character, like throwaway. They literally do throw her away at the end. What a shame because she's really good in that show. But aside from Angel and the strippers, we have we can go back to Cassie and Nate. Cassie, I think reaches out to Maddie. I think that's correct. She reaches out to Maddie to maybe to reconcile their whole thing with Nate in the second season. So this is 5 years later. They haven't reconciled. But really, Cassie is just trying to get something from Maddie to help her manage her social media content because she sees that Maddie actually works with celebrities, movie stars, and content creators that are worth millions of followers. I don't know. So we see that interaction, and Maddie is just so surprised. She's like, this girl, she only called me here because she's engaged with Nate and they're going to get married. So she knows that it's like, how can Maddie be mad if they ended up falling in love and getting married anyways, like get over it. But Cassie's so scummy, honestly. I really hate her character. I don't hate Sydney Sweeney. Cassie, the character, not good. She is not good.
I think everybody hates Sydney Sweeney right now.
No, I don't hate her. I don't hate her, but Cassie, the character, she is, man, doing cringe things, maybe blackmailing Nate, like we were saying earlier, and then also now having this weird transactional relationship with Maddie, trying to like guilt her into helping her in a way.
Yeah, and you also get like a little bit more, like I said, natives in debt, and then you actually find out how much he actually owed to the guy with his construction business, and like you get to see all that, and Nate don't want to like own up to it. Then you see him have a conversation with his dad. So this was the episode where Eric Dane was in. I think he's gonna be in another episode. You could tell that he was sick and he was just barely hanging on by a thread, but he delivered in this episode. He was like, Nate was telling him like, "You're gay." You were gay, and it blew up in your face because you didn't tell nobody. They're like, "I'm not gay. what do you say?
He did say something.
He
Uh,
said something. So he said, I'm a catcher, not a pitcher.
yeah, he said something like that. And he said it in front of the housekeeper too, and she was like, "Excuse me,
Yeah,
like, should I be listening to this conversation?" But
yeah,
I
like
love the dad. That dad really does a great performance. What was his actor's name again? I'm sorry, I forgot.
Eric Dane.
Oh, he's so good. R.I.P. I know he
Yeah,
passed away IRL. I believe, is it from stomach cancer? And
ALS.
OALS. So, and I think that happened last year. And so this is like some of the last stuff that he filmed or he
Yeah,
worked on for sure. You know.
yeah,
So yeah, he was already a little sick here, and I believe that we're gonna see him maybe once more in during the wedding. He's in the trailer for that. So, I mean, yeah, he was always really good in this show. His character was very complex, confused, frustrating as well because he just could not accept himself as who he is, like the character. And
neither
he's
one of them can.
neither one of them can. Like father, like son, right? The apple doesn't
Yeah,
fall far from the tree. So Nate also cannot accept himself because really he's in love with Jules, despite all that stuff IRL between. Take a shot every time I say IRL, but really in reality they had that fight. They could not work together. But in the show, Nate is still in love with Jules, regardless of how their characters. You know.
yeah, and also going back to Maddie, I like this opening sequence where Maddie showed how she got the position where she was at, and it also showed that she had someone that she could have made a lot of money with, but she let her boss talk her out of doing it, and she missed that opportunity. So I think she's looking at Cash like maybe this is an opportunity for me to kind of not make the same mistake twice.
Right.
So it's
Where
kind
if
of
she
like a
would have stayed with that
quid pro
girl,
quo with them too. Yeah.
yeah, she would have made way more money than she is right now and potentially work with other content creators at that high level of like millions of followers, right? Because she saw something in that girl when that girl had no followers and like made her blow up. So, I mean, that is really cool. There are media managers, content managers, and they can make you blow up if they market you just right. I mean,
They
that is
believe in
real.
they believe what you're doing.
Yeah.
And what's it called? Going to Rue. Rue messed with Angel, told Angel what happened. Angel fell deep into despair and started using. And the guy, the strip club owner was talking to Rue and telling her that she gonna put her through rehab. Angel was like, "No, I'm not doing rehab. Fuck you. I'm not doing it." Da 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 da.
Mhm.
And Rue was like, "It'll do you some good," but Rue was doing all that, and in the back of her mind, she still was thinking about Jules. And then we finally
Yeah.
see Hunter Schafer towards the end of the episode.
I will say when they took Angel to rehab, which I don't think that she's gonna come back, uh, as soon as she came in, I said it immediately. I'm like, "Where's the paperwork? Where's the paperwork? You need to check in people." And so Rue
Yeah,
asks, don't I have paperwork?" Yeah, we're all asking that. They're like, "No, there's no paperwork." Makes me think that a lot of girls come through here and maybe they go missing. They go away. They go somewhere else. I don't think they come back because there's no paperwork. Do you see what I'm saying?
yeah, so
If
yeah,
it was
so
more legitimately that that guy was paying for it, there would be paperwork. I think something else happens to them. Maybe they get trafficked. It could be because they're already addicted and she was already falling into drugs. So that is my theory right there. If we don't get Angel back, I think that's what happens because there was no paperwork and that lady's like, "Oh, did this guy send you?" And the lights were all off. Nobody was around. It was late at night. Do you see what I'm saying? Everything is so sketch. Didn't seem like a legitimate rehab thing at all.
yeah, so that's
Poor
gonna
girl.
be probably that gonna be something to be talked about. But yeah, Rue
Yep.
gets back up with Jules, and Jules looking like a supermodel standing in this penthouse, and they seem like they have an on and off relationship, and uh you think Jules is in a good place, but she's not. Clearly, it sounds like she like the side piece for this
Yes.
rich dude who already married, and he just tell her to stay at this loft, and she'll. When I want to get up with you, I'll find you.
Rue also brings up some conversations with Jules that they start reminiscing about their relationship in high school, and they both acknowledge that maybe none of it was ever good. So that was interesting that they're kind of like maybe none of it was ever good. Jules was talking to Nate on the side. Rue was, a mess. So was it ever really good, or were they just like living in a nostalgic time? So
Yeah,
but some of the rumors or some of the theories going on here is that Nate is the sugar daddy. And that's why he's poor. Because we see Nate be drinking a whiskey glass and does he do a weird finger thing? He does a weird thing and they focus in on it. Then Hunter Schafer, I'm sorry, Jules does a little thing too, like touching the glass. We also see her do that, like a focus. It's very odd that you would focus on that at all. So the theory is that Nate is her sugar daddy, and that's why Nate has no money because he is supporting her lifestyle. And you know what? Maybe I medium believe that.
I can see that. That'll be a good little like twist of events right there. That he got Cassie, and probably Cassie knows about it,
That's what I
and that's
think.
what yeah, and so like I think that's what that's all coming from. So that would be a nice little twist to things. But I don't know, like I'm after this episode, I'm a little bit more invested now. Like now I want to see how it's gonna end. So we just talked about two series television show that's at the end of their ropes. Like after this
Yeah.
is over, we're not getting no more of these. No spinoffs of Euphoria. We're not getting no spinoffs because I think that Sam Levinson gonna move on and start something else. And of
Hmm.
course Zendaya and Jacob Elordi, they skyrocket. They're never coming
Hmm.
back to doing anything like this again. Neither is Sydney Sweeney. So
I could see them potentially doing a TV show, like starring in a TV show, but like a higher level TV show. So I'll say something like, for example, Adam Scott in Severance. That's a higher level TV show. Or we have Rebecca Ferguson. She's a movie star in The Silo. Those are both Apple TV though. But I could see them maybe coming back for something like very high profile like that. It's like, is that high profile? It is to me.
it is. It is. It is.
It
I
is to me
mean,
because the budgets of those
Zendaya won an
shows
Emmy
is
for it.
very high. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, she won an Emmy for the show. So yeah, it's high level. And but he's never coming back because he just got nominated for an Oscar. So
Yeah.
he definitely not trying to like come back to doing
No.
anything like that right now. So
And even
I
though I like what's her name? Maddie's Alexa Demi, I think it is. I like her in Euphoria a lot, but I honestly haven't really seen her in other projects, but I think she does a great job in Euphoria. So, I know uh Barbara
forever
Ferreira. Yeah, she's in like a lot of indie films. She was just in that other one.
saw it. Miles
Yeah.
and Keith.
Mm-hmm. She's
and
in that
Faces of
one.
Death.
And Faces of Death, exactly. So she's been doing like kind of like indie projects, which is great, because she broke away from the show. So right, I don't think any of them would really come back, even if, I mean, they would have to pay them like a lot of money to come back, honestly. And I don't know if
Yeah,
they
and
are
I don't
willing.
think none of them are coming back. So I think that it's done. You know, Zendaya got like so many projects coming up. She's not trying to come back to anything like this. She's trying to work with like auteur directors, and someone was like complaining about her why she keep working with shitty people like Sam Livingston and the guy that did the drama. And it's like, well, if you're gonna question her, you need to question every actor that don't work with every shitty
I
director.
don't think
Like,
she knew about the guy who did the drama because that came out after the movie came out.
yeah, that's what
Like,
I'm saying. She
she
didn't know
didn't
anything
know.
about it.
And Sam Levinson, how was she gonna know all of that? That had like unfolded as the show was going. Like she already filmed it. I really can't blame her too much if she doesn't know. They probably treated her fine on set. But I can say that she's not sitting there trying to necessarily defend them either. So
Yeah, so
she's
it's
not making
like,
any statements about it.
yeah, so it's like
I don't know.
you if you're gonna come at her, you need to come at every person that
Yeah.
worked with Woody Allen that knew about it, or Roman Polanski. So like, you know, you're an actor. You work with the people that's gonna push you to that level. And they got like a great body of a catalog. And Sam Livingston was technically the first person that treated Zendaya like an adult, gave her
Yeah.
adult material. So yeah, they can. Yeah, that room, that space is crazy. So, what's your predictions on Euphoria? How you think it's gonna end?
So, well, I don't think the Nate and Cassie thing is gonna work. Um, Rue is probably gonna end up being like the head king. She's gonna take over that somehow. I feel like Rue is gonna have a good ending.
Okay,
I don't know. I don't know. Maddie, she's it might be how it was in the beginning. Nate is out of the picture and it's Cassie and Maddie.
they're
How it was
friends
from
and
the
they run the
beginning.
business
Friends,
together. Yeah.
get rid of Nate. Nate maybe ends up with Jules, which is what he really wants. That's what he really wants deep down inside. And then Lexi is going to write a book or something. She's going to write a book. It's going to be a bestseller or something like that about all these shenanigans, which we didn't get that much Lexi in this episode 2, but we did get some Lexi in episode 1, like a little bit. She's
Yeah.
not doing anything that interesting, but maybe she'll come around during the wedding
I,
time.
I I've been watching a few of the actors. A lot of them don't really seem too happy to talk about Euphoria. I think they ready to move on from it.
Yeah.
Like Jacob Elordi, he was kind of like very vague about the thing. That people say he was nervous. I'm like, he's not nervous. He's just done with the show. He ready to move on from it.
Yeah.
So
He
I
doesn't
didn't really didn't
maybe he
want to
doesn't
come
want to
back.
be associated with the show anymore.
Yeah, he ready to move on from it.
Mhm.
Zendaya's the same thing. She ready to move on from it. Hunter Schafer and Sydney Sweeney, they seem to be really happy and proud about it. And people saying that, oh, Sydney Sweeney needs this show. I'm like, nah, she really don't, because she just had a movie that made like almost a $500 million, so she's straight.
What, the one with Glenn Powell?
No, no,
The
no,
housemaid.
the housemaid, yeah.
Yeah. But she's going to be like Kate Hudson was in the 2000s. She could easily be a rom-com queen like that. You know what I'm saying? Sydney Sweeney, she could position herself. She definitely has the capability to be something like that with that, especially from that Glenn Powell movie. So if she plays her cards right and picks the right projects, I mean, she could be something like that.
Yeah, so but now I feel the same way that you feel about it, and like I think it's gonna end just that way too. And as far as the boys, I they changed so much from the graphic novel. I don't really know how they gonna end it, but I can tell you from the graphic novel, I know who survives and who don't survive, and I do think I like you. Butcher is way more worser in the graphic novel than he is now. They lightened the tone on Butcher a little bit from the graphic novel, because Butcher's 10 times worse than Homelander in the graphic novel.
Mm, because he hates
So
soups that much.
he ain't suits that much, and he'll
Yeah.
do anything to like objectify his goal. If that means all getting rid of some of the boys or setting them up for failure or whatever, he'll do whatever it takes. So he's way more worse in the graphic novel than he is in the show. So But I like it so far, man. I like both of the things, and yeah, I can't wait to see what else is to come. So, but yeah, that's all I got for both of them. I'm just anxious to see what they're gonna come up with.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how the boys will end, how Homelander is finally going to be eliminated. He is like the toughest soup, the strongest soup, so they're really gonna have to all work together to make it happen because they keep having their separate agendas and like you said, it's not working. And in Euphoria, I mean we might get a happy ending, but it could just be very complacent as well. I could see that because it's trying to be like pseudo realistic. A little bit, but not at the same time. Like the first two seasons were a bit fantastical, but this one's a little bit less fantastical. We'll see. We'll see as the show goes on.
I can tell you another thing about Euphoria. I'll touch on this real quick. I do think Labyrinth's music is missing very much in this season.
Oh,
Like I do miss his music a lot. Like
we should have had
he's
said that. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think his music is definitely missed. I'm glad that he got Hans Zimmer, one of the best composers in the world, to
Yep.
score. Even though I don't think Hans Zimmer is scoring it, I think he's is one of his people that's work under his agency is scoring the show, and he just got a name attached to it. But I just yeah, I don't. I just don't feel like I think Labyrinth's music definitely missed in this show. So that's another thing that kind of altered the show, the vibe, the color palette change, and everything like that. Just
The color
all
palette
then like
change, the music, and then also like the
all
makeup
this
looks.
the guy that the guy that passed away, he's missed in the show too.
Angus
Angus,
Cloud.
yeah, Angus Cloud, yeah, he's
Yeah.
missed in the show. Uh, it's a lot. Barbara Ferreira, yes and no, not really. It didn't, I liked her, but it really didn't not necessary for this story for her to be in it. It would have been too much. I think it's always been centered around these characters.
Yeah.
So yeah, but Labyrinth's music is definitely mixed.
It's
I
true. The soundtrack was always really good in Euphoria. Despite what you think of the show, the soundtrack was always good. The aesthetics of the show were always this like nostalgia, kind of glamorous, glitzy, but like grungy kind of a tone. And we're not getting that in the season 3. It feels very different. It feels like a TV show production. Like that's what it feels like. Doesn't have that like atmospheric tone that we're used to in the first two seasons, especially with the music being so different. You're right. That's why it feels so different too. Like this is not the same as it was before. Also, so
uh,
much time has passed between the seasons. It's just like because I saw season 2 when it premiered. It's like, so when are we gonna get season 3? Like, do I even care? Just make a
season
movie.
2 premiered what 2021, 2022.
It was yeah during the pandemic, maybe 2022. So yeah, that was a while ago.
That was like 3 years ago, damn near.
And I know that they were filming it. It's just they hadn't put it together.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it, and like I said, I appreciate you having me on here. And you got anything else you want to talk about?
I think that'll be it for now, but we'll come back with some more discussion about the boys and Euphoria as we get closer to the ends of those shows. Another podcast session there. So thank you, Spear, for being on my first podcast on my Mel Movie YouTube channel. And follow Spear everywhere on social media, TikTok, YouTube, and also IG with Talk with Spear, and you'll find him there. So thanks, and I'll see you
Appreciate
guys
you for having
in.
me, and I'll see you around. All right,
All right, thanks,
peace.
and I'll see you guys in the next one.